Oh my god, how bad was that, guys? Massive apologies. I'll tell you exactly what just happened and why we got cut off there. Thankfully, it was right at the beginning of the broadcast. It's a bit of a bonus. I can see JD's here again. Thanks for visiting again tonight. Stephen Dempster's back on. Whew, guys, for those people who, Nina's here, who were just on for the first, like, literally couple of seconds before, and then it all went off. I made a massive schoolboy error, right? I normally plug my phone in. There we go, glad we're back. I normally plug my phone into the back of my Mac here. Today, got one of these bad boys. Got a new iWatch. If it'll turn itself on. Look, we've got Mickey Mouse here somewhere, knocking around. Oh, there he is. I plugged the iWatch charger in, thinking that that one was still plugged in. It wasn't. Massive schoolboy error. I had about 2% of battery left, and as soon as it came on, bang, it all just went black. So it's going, oh my god. And then it took ages to charge up, literally like the longest 5 minutes of my life. But guys, we are back, so thanks for joining me. Let me just close all these crazy alert messages that I've got going on here down. They're all good, they're all down. Russell is here, not Russell, Lawrence Russell is here. Sasha's laughing at me. You're quite entitled to. Thanks for everybody on the Facebook group for their moral support there. Hard it up if you enjoyed taking the mick out of me completely. How are we doing, Lawrence? Good to see you, mate. For everybody on here, I could say a minute ago it was going so well. Swipe left to right, and you can share this with your followers on Twitter. Shelley's laughing as well, or hurrah. Hurrah, that's not laughing, that's support, Shelley, thanks. You're all quite entitled to laugh at me. Tonight, guys, we are talking about something that I'm massively passionate about. I'm passionate about all of this stuff. Bob, I've just seen come back on. Sucio Valentino. Wow, nice name. Let me just pull up this tab here on my computer, because tonight, we are looking at a request that was given to me yesterday or this morning by Kim Hunt, who said that she wants to know really how to let go of negative experiences but still be able to learn from them. And then we had someone else as well saying they were thinking about how to deal with negative people. So it got me on the topic really just of kind of like dealing with negativity in our lives. And well, particularly situations, and how we can kind of relabel those situations and look at them for all the positives that they can give us, because when you look at life like that, really, if you look as, you know, there are no negatives really, it's all just kind of learning experiences and you know, what you can gain and how you can grow through those, then a lot of your issues will be, well, either obliterated or a heck of a lot easier to kind of control and deal with. I'm going to go through 10 hidden blessings, guys, tonight of rejection, failure and loss, because there are a lot of positives within those. I know it sounds ridiculous, but within those areas, it's not all negative. You know, if we didn't have negative experiences in our lives, we wouldn't be the people that we are today. Give me some hearts or type yes in the comments if you've been through something in your life that's been negative, but you think you've learned a lot from it, and out of that you've become a better person. Because I'm sure we've all been there. The hearts are going crazy. I'm sure that's something that everybody has experienced. Nina says definitely. It really has, you know. A lot of people, you know, these days, to me, definitely, says Steve, yes, says Sasha. You know, loads of people kind of see me and meet me, or they watch these and they're like, oh my god, like, yeah, but you're always happy. It's like, no, seriously, I choose to be. You have a choice. You cannot control the things that happen to you in your life necessarily, but you can absolutely control the way that you react to them, and that's the choice that you know, that you have. Kim says definitely as well. So I've got 10 of these things. It's a bit like the other night, guys, for those who were on for the Periscope the other night, where I went through these 10 sheets. I've been busy again on my printer, and we've got some slides. I wish you could do slides on this, but I ended up having to print the pages out and hold them up instead. But I'm going to take you through 10. And then if you've got any questions on each of these as we go through, you can type them in. Don't forget to keep hearting it up. That's all very good. Share this as well as we're going through, and hopefully we'll get some people on that we can help tonight. So number one, okay, so when something goes wrong in our lives, whether it's, you know, something, it could be a relationship, a job, could be something with our health, you know, all sorts of different reasons for having negative experiences, basically. One way to kind of deal with those is to look at what they can give us, as opposed to what they're robbing us of or what they are taking us of, you know, taking off us. I've said a few times on Periscopes, you know, that when we relabel these events and we stop looking at them as a tragedy, because whilst we're doing that, we're playing this victim mentality and we're replaying who kind of like, almost at some time in their life has enjoyed replaying a negative event over in their head and painting themselves as a victim, because it almost gives them a connection with themselves. It makes them feel hard done by, therefore it wasn't their fault. And we always kind of run this same story over and over again. I found this particularly kind of like relationships and stuff like that, something that we can kind of fall into, and we keep doing it because it's almost, in a weird way, it's kind of comforting to go, well, that wasn't any of my fault, it was completely out of my control, I'm the victim. And the more times we tell ourselves that story, the more of this role of this victim we play in life in general. Overthinking is toxic sometimes. It definitely is, Sasha. Absolutely, it's a great word. Toxic describes it perfectly. So, number one, guys, the first blessing that I want you guys to think about and take from here on out, every time you face rejection in your career, loss in your life, or failure in anything that you do, number one is that you'll clarify your passions. Okay, I'll try and read this out for you. So I wrote a little paragraph on each of these. So many of us struggle with decision making, okay? Those with creative energy, so that's for actors, you know, I know there's a lot of actors going to be on these scopes, particularly. Those with creative energy typically have their hand in multiple pies, but even a jack of all trades knows that there's a limit to how thin you can spread yourself. I'm quite guilty of this sometimes. I run quite a few businesses online, I've got a few things going on. Sometimes I can spread myself quite thin. Often failure and losing results from diminished passion, okay? You realise you weren't as passionate about that project as first thought, and the pruning effect is a positive. So you end up actually going, well, you know what, if I didn't kind of succeed on that, maybe it's because I didn't really kind of have enough passion for it. I didn't work hard enough for it, and that's just kind of like signaling to me that it might not have been that important to me. So I have this thing at the moment. I run Act On This, the TV Actors Network. That's actonthis.tv for those actors who are watching and might want to check that out. I also run a voiceover training company. I'm running a mindset course that I'm in the middle of creating called Bulletproof Actor. Got my own acting career, my own voiceover career. Got a life, you know. I've got friends, you know. I like to work out, I like to exercise. Hell of a lot is kind of going on sometimes. And in the past, as I've been developing, you know, a lot of these things in my life, I've gone, right, well, you know, at what point do I have to go? What are the things that, you know, if I prioritize all of these different things and I can only put my energy into one or two of them, what is it that I want to focus on and what I'm going to really put all my energy into? And there's definitely been times where I've seen, you know, one of those things that I've been doing kind of falling by the wayside a little bit, and I've had to go, actually, wait a minute, notice that, and I've got to pick that back up. But sometimes we do this in life where actually those things that fall by the wayside naturally are things that we weren't that passionate about in the first place anyway. So we need to look at, you know, when we do fail at something, we can go, well, actually, that will clarify what my passions are, and if I am still super passionate about that thing, then at least I know. You know, but if you actually go, well, I didn't do that, I failed at that, and I'm not that bothered, then you go, actually, maybe not, it might not have been for me anyway. And that, you know, that it includes everything in our lives, career, relationships, you know, all sorts of things. So that's number one, you will clarify your passions. Number two, this is a good one, you'll uncover new skills, okay? So it says, facing challenges and enduring a loss causes us to gather up resources and develop skills beyond our arsenal. In cases of superhuman strength where ordinary people lift cars off someone trapped, it's the negative situation that produces the surge of adrenaline and an act beyond one's capability. So negative experiences cause us to respond in ways beyond what we thought were possible. The obstacle beckons to be overcome. In order to rise to the occasion, there needs to be an occasion. Okay. Will you be blogging this content afterwards, Ross? You know what? I don't normally, but I do record these scopes. I put them on YouTube and then I attach them to kind of like a mini blog over on actonthis.tv. If you go to actonthis.tv and you click on Periscope in the top menu bar, you can view all of the previous Periscopes. What I will do is I will put attached to the Periscope, I will put a PDF document. Yeah, I should print it on the back, definitely Shelley, so I will do that for next time, so I'm not having to twist it around. But I will attach the PDF document for this to the scope replay, and you can download all of these slides, so you can read them in your own time. But yeah, so number two, basically, have you seen those, I won't read that out, Wolf. That's a bit of naughty language. It is a Saturday night, we'll let you off. But yeah, so I'll attach those. But these, you know, uncovering new skills when we, you know, when we kind of face adversity, we're often just put to the test, and we are, you know, then, like it says there, you know, there needs to be an occasion for you to rise to the occasion. And you must have seen these videos sometimes of, you know, people in burning cars or something, or like, you know, there's a child who's been run over by a car, and the mother somehow, or someone's trapped in a car or something, somehow gets this energy from somewhere to like rip the door off the car, or people, you know, 6 people get together and they lift up this car to slide someone out from underneath. You know, we develop these new skills and these strengths that we didn't think we even had inside of us, only when we're put to the test, only when we face adversity. So without it, we would never know that we have that inside of us. So that's absolutely something that you should always take when you're facing a challenging situation, is you will find that you are more resourceful than you ever imagined you could be. And I'm sure we've all been there, you know, if you had money struggles or, you know, whatever it is, and you're going, oh my goodness, how am I going to actually survive? You find a way. You absolutely find a way. You know, you will do anything. Instinct kicks in, and you know, and you absolutely find a way to get through that. So that's number 2. I will definitely write these on the back next time so I can just read them off the back as opposed to reading them off the front, or I should just memorize it. I should learn the lines. Number 3, guys. Okay, well, if that is that side a bit better, you'll find out. I was a bit unsure putting this one on, but I thought I will. It might be a bit controversial, but you'll find out who your friends are. Okay, when you're really facing times of adversity. So relationships are crucial in life. They take a lot of work and time, you know, invested. You don't want to be invested in bad stock, effectively. I invested on the stock market for a long time and nearly lost a lot of money. Friends are quite similar. Of course, friendships aren't to be boiled down to a shallow transaction. That's definitely not the case. But unfortunately, you know, some folks see them that way. You know, a lot of taking without any giving. So if you've got these relationships around you, they're the ones that need severing, really. It says hitting rock bottom uncovers the healthy relationships from the detrimental. You'll want to keep investing in those who are nursing your wounds and distance yourself from the silent and nowhere to be seen. So we've probably all got those people in our lives who either crawl out the woodwork when everything's going amazing, or they're not normally there, you know, when you really need them, or they might just crop up when they need something from you. So put yes if you've seen people like that in your life, who suddenly you might have heard from them in 6 months, and then suddenly you get, oh, but I used to get this particularly when I worked in a shop in the Trafford Centre. People always discount. 100% says Sasha. 2 true, says Stephen. So yeah, I worked in a shop for like a decade. I left there about, I don't know, maybe 6-7 years ago, and I wouldn't see people for 6 months, and what's that? So yeah, Hitesh says, yeah, through others' experiences, definitely. I wouldn't see people for like 6 months, 8 months, something like that. Christmas would come along, and I would get the Facebook message that was like, hi Ross, how are you doing? Just thought I'd check in on you. Literally 2 seconds later, oh, by the way, any chance you get me a discount on an Xbox? It's like, oh my goodness me, where were you when, like, you know, I was putting a shout out on Facebook a few weeks ago going, you know, I need help with this, or, you know, I need help shifting some stuff or whatever. People would nowhere to be seen. So when you're going through adversity, you'll really kind of find out who the people are who really matter to you, and who you matter to. And I've said on a lot of previous scopes that we are the average of the 5 people that we spend the most time with. So you've got to really look at who those 5 people are. You know, if you know, you're hanging out with 5 broke people, 5 negative people, you will be the 6th. You know, you'll be the 6th broke person or the 6th negative person, you know, because people, well, it's weird. I was reading a scientific study on our kind of physiology and our biology, and how we sync up with the people that we hang around with. We literally kind of, our body clocks, everything kind of syncs up with the people we spend the most time with. You really do kind of draw on each other's energy at a biological level, really. It gets completely kind of ingrained inside you, so you've got to be careful with who you're hanging out with. A bit like law of attraction. Well, yeah, it is. I mean, you know, your thoughts become things. You put, you know, your thoughts out there that are positive, you will generally attract other people who have those similar thoughts. What you will do, answering the question about how you deal with negative people, what I have found in my life, I think what a lot of people find, is when you choose to be positive, you choose to be happy, you choose to be fulfilled, you choose to strive for greatness and strive for your goals. The people around you who aren't like that, you don't have to cut them off, you don't have to sever them necessarily. I know I said there, you know, sever those relationships, but you don't have to. Those people actually just eject themselves because they don't want to be around people who are enjoying their lives, who are being, you know, successful and having happiness, and it just reminds them of what they haven't got. And so they will just, you'll find those people do kind of just distance themselves from your life naturally. You don't have to say, I'm not hanging out with you anymore. They just go. It's unfortunate because we don't want to necessarily lose those connections sometimes, but if they're only going to kind of drag you back, then sometimes that just has to happen, and maybe you'll reconnect in the future. Number 4, when facing adversity, rejection or failure, this is brilliant, guys, okay? Number 4, you'll check your blind spots, and I mean next time, okay? So it only takes one accident for a driver never to forget checking their blind spots again, okay? A harsh way to learn, but some changes in behaviour only happen with such shocks to the system. So while there are habits and skills we've not yet acquired, failures remind us of the ones we do possess, but we might be lazy in doing. So you might be lazy at checking that blind spot, checking your mirrors. You'll only do it once though. After suffering a robbery, for instance, you'll never forget to lock the door again. You know, so sometimes we need these as kind of reality checks, as things that we can learn from and go, you know what, I'm never doing that again. Who's experienced that recently, where you've done something and you've thought, wait a minute, that was a schoolboy error, I should have known that, I'm not going to fall for that again. Laura says yes, so true, definitely. I think that's something that everybody can relate to. I got away for years with a very dodgy lock on my shed until about 6 months ago when my bikes got robbed. Really expensive mountain bikes. I will never just rely on a tiny little padlock like that again to lock my shed. For the benefit of the robbers, if you're watching, there's no bikes in there anymore. Do that more often than I would like, says Steve. Yeah, like not plugging. Yeah, exactly. Like not plug. I will never come on a scope again without, everyone's saying it now, Shelley's on it, they're all on it. I will never come on a scope again without making sure this USB cable is plugged in, and I will find a different USB socket for this iWatch charger. Definitely, but that's honestly, I mean, that's a perfect example of it. That's something that I just took for granted because I've done, this is the, by the way guys, this, the 14th Periscope on the trot. We've done 2 weeks of these now. We've still got 16 days to go, at least. I said I would do it for 30 days every night, and then from there on we will assess. But I like it. I'll probably go on for forever doing this. But that is something that I will never do again. Definitely I'll never ever do again. So I have learned, and I will always check my blind spots next time. Number 5, halfway there. Number 5, you'll burn away pride and arrogance. Okay, so I'm totally behind this. No one is immune to pride and arrogance. I have, you know, definitely been arrogant at various times in my life and come down to earth with a crash. To say you're beyond pride and arrogance is a little, well, prideful and arrogant. Losing is the glass of water for that bitter pill of pride. Okay, so that's what you're going to, you know, swig it down with. But that unpleasant process gives birth to humility, which is perhaps the most attractive and profitable virtue anyone can possess. I think it's amazing when you get someone who's so successful and are just so, you know, so humble, you know, so they've got a lot of humility. As the proverb goes, pride goeth before the fall. Okay, so rejection and loss exchange pride for humility, and maybe the saviour that prevents your fall, and particularly your fall again. So sometimes, you know, we might just need to hit that bump in the road to go, wait a minute, I was just getting way ahead of myself there. I need to just come back down, remember what really matters to me, you know, remember the people around me. You know, and hopefully you'll have those friends who will pick you up if you've had that fall. But you know, I think I've definitely been guilty of that sometimes. You know, just getting a little bit carried away, thinking I'm a bit invincible, like not plugging my my USB cable in, and then you're like, please forgive me. So yeah, you know, it kind of just keeps a lid on. I've got another warning coming up here. Let me just turn this one off. Remind me later. I've not got any, there's no Periscope warning, so that's good. Yeah, so that will just kind of keep you grounded, I guess, and we all need people around us who will keep us grounded, particularly because we're all going to be super successful. Laura says she forgives me, thank you very much. But when everybody's a massively successful actor, I've seen it. Who's seen that actually? Say yes if you've seen people who's had success and then suddenly they've kind of got a little bit ahead of themselves, and then that success has gone away, and then they've gone, oh, sorry about that, probably shouldn't have been like that. And of course we can forgive them, but you know, it's just something that's a natural flaw in us all. But this is, you know, having a Kim says, yeah, having a fall sometimes, a failure, a rejection or a loss can make us aware of that, and that's only a good thing to keep us humble, keep us down to earth. Hitesh says yeah, Laura says yeah, Steve says yeah as well. So that's number 5. Number 6. I'm sure most of us have got this already, really, to be honest, if people are in the acting industry and depending on what your career is. But number 6, you'll grow elephant skin. Okay, so this is great. I used to do Muay Thai boxing, believe it or not. I never had a fight. I just trained. I was way too scared to actually have a proper fight. But the shins of Muay Thai boxers can break baseball bats. YouTube this, it's phenomenal. The micro fractures from hours upon hours of kicking heavy bags and sticks, all sorts of stuff, are filled with calcium, resulting in abnormal bone density, guys. So it's just as like muscle fibers grow as a result of micro tears in the gym for those who are working out and getting bigger muscles. It's the pain that brings the gain, though. Okay, the healing of a fracture carries a gift. Anyone stepping out to pursue their dream should be prepared for rejection, criticism and haters. We're all going to experience that. And with each punch thrown your way, the impact will start to soften, and you'll realise the issue lies more with them than it does with you. So this is another thing about dealing with negative people, particularly in workplaces and stuff. If you've got, God, I used to have like a really negative boss when I worked in that computer game shop. I had lots of bosses over the years, but there was one particularly. He was actually only a deputy. He wasn't even the boss. Definitely had some kind of significance issues in his life, and he would take it out on me and take it out on the other staff, and I just rolled with it. I got, you know, he got less satisfaction if I actually just kind of rolled with what he was saying, and if he told me to do something that was unpleasant, I just went, yeah, absolutely fine, and just went along with it. You realise that those issues aren't yours. You know, they're absolutely other people's issues a lot of the time. You know, rejection, for instance, you know, in relationships can be like this as well. You know, it depends on what, you know, who it is in a relationship decides to end it or something like that. Hi, just joining, says Tracy Briggs. Tracy's been out. Tracy, we're talking about gifts that are given when you have rejection, failure and loss. Sash says, sounds like my team leader, who I think has a thing against actors. Right, okay. But you will find these people who are just bitter in life, you know, and want to try and take it out on other people in order to get significance. But if you just roll with the punches, you know, develop those muscle fibers, you know, as if you're in the gym, you know, those little micro tears, because they're never going to be like horrendous, massive issues for you. You know, just take them and develop. You know, you'll develop stronger and stronger, and then you'll realise that it's not your issue. Those things are for those people to do, you know, to deal with. If you're in a relationship and someone's unfaithful, or you know, a boss is an idiot, or just whatever it is, probably wasn't your issue. You don't have to deal with that. You don't have to live with that in here, because that was their issue. It's their choice. They had the choice of how they reacted to that situation. As I said before, you have the choice of how you react to the situation. You can't change the situation, but you can absolutely change the way that you react to it. So develop that elephant skin. I was saying there, number 6, you'll grow elephant skin when you face enough rejection, loss and failure. And it's a good thing. It doesn't mean that you're you know, not open or anything like that. I definitely don't think you want the skin to be so thick that, you know, you kind of like lock yourself away. You know, but you're just going to be more prepared, I guess, you know, for things that might go wrong. You're going to be able to deal with it a lot better if you've dealt with these things in the past. We learn from every experience. Number 7, what have we got? This is a good one. They're all good ones. Number 7. You'll never wonder what if again. I've had this a few times when I've been thinking of career choices. I've gone, oh, should I do it? Should I do it? Well, I've got to do it, because I'll never know what if I don't. So the question of what if can cause hours on end staring out the window, you know, or in bed at night, just like going over and over thoughts. When that curiosity is pursued only to find you've boarded the wrong plane, failure is the blessing that pulls you off that flight. Okay, you'll no longer be kept up at night wondering about that other option. Curiosity can cripple our consciousness and distracts from the work we should be doing. So if you're thinking, oh, I said yes, or oh, I said no, you know, to whatever it is, I often do that, says Kim. You know, if you've done it and you failed, then brilliant. You've discovered whether it was for you or not. You know, you're never going to have that question in your head of, oh, should I have gone to that audition? If I learned really early on, you know, from an acting career, to say yes to every audition that I get offered, unless it's a job that I really don't like the sound of, because I was offered an audition at like 12 years old for this film that apparently was going to go straight to video, called There's Only One Jimmy McGregor at the time it was called. Apparently it was just a kid who played football. It wasn't going to be very big, it was going to go straight to video. This was like in the early 90s. I had 2 auditions that day. I had one for Children's Ward. Give me some hearts if you remember Children's Ward on CITV. Who remembers that? Like 15 years ago, more than that, probably like 18 years ago, something like that. Better an oh well than a what if, say Steve. Yeah, definitely. So I had this audition for Children's Ward, and I nailed it, guys. We were there, like, there was 20 of us at the start of the day. By the end of us, there was 2. It was down to the last 2, me and this other guy. I was convinced I had got the part. So going back to this arrogance thing, I was probably a bit arrogant. I was like, yeah, I've got the part. I've definitely got it. I'm better than that other guy. I had this other audition for this film that was apparently going to video. It was over the other side of town. It looked like I probably wouldn't have made it on time. So I was like, oh, forget it. The filming dates clash anyway. I'm going to have this, so I'm not even going to go for that film. Forget it. Don't make me feel old, says Kim. I know, I feel pretty old. Now, I didn't go to that audition for that film. As it turned out, I lost out on the part in Children's Ward to the guy that I thought I'd definitely nailed it, I was going to get it. So I didn't get that part, I didn't go to the audition. That film that apparently was just going to go to video changed its name to There's Only One Jimmy Grimble, and was a massive film, I think, with Ewan McGregor. It was like a really big British box office hit, and I had been invited personally by the director and the producer. It wasn't even through an agent. I didn't have an agent at the time. I was like 10 years old. I look back and just go, oh goodness me, what would have happened if I'd have gone to that? You know, that might have changed a few things. And also that, you know, that arrogance thing about being too sure about yourself, I learned about that very early on as well. So I would say, if you're thinking of an audition and it might even be a stretch, or whatever it is, whatever job you do, you know, and you're thinking, oh, that interview or whatever, I might not be able to get to it, go to it, because if it turns out that job, you know, ends up being great, then you're always going to wonder what if you would have gone for it. So if we do things and we commit to it, but we fail, fine, we don't have to worry about that. So that's point number 7. Point number 8, and I've started doing this very recently, and I almost did it tonight. You might not have been doing, well, I mean, that's true, Laura. I might not be doing this now, and I might not have been impacting the world in the way that I wanted to. So I look at that as every cloud. Number 8, you'll finally ask for help. Okay, so anyone with passion and ambition is tragically plagued, well, I am like this sometimes, with superhero syndrome. Give me some hearts if you ever had superhero syndrome. Can be helpful and harmful, particularly when the candle is burning at both ends and you're drifting towards burnout. Who's ever done that? You've worked so hard on so many things, you're like, actually, you know what, I've just took on too much. When the word help disappears from our vocabulary, it's found when we crash and burn. Okay, we realise the skill of delegating is critical for our health and progress. We need to move away from viewing help negatively as a form of weakness. It's positive. It's, you know, our success is growing beyond our own capacity. Now, recently I sent an email out, and I'm in the final throes of finalising this, to the Act on This community. So this, for those who don't know, the Act on This community, it's a community that I run for actors at actonthis.tv. It's where you'll find all the recordings of these scopes. And because the community grew, which is amazing, you know, it's growing quite big. You know, I was the guy who was putting the content on, designing the site, answering all the emails. I also had the VOfocus.com, which is a voiceover training company. I have my own career, like I said, my own acting, my own voiceover. So much stuff. I was like, I actually can't do all this on my own anymore, but really I don't know if I have the funds to pay somebody. How can I deal with this? I was like, you know what, I just need to ask for help. So I sent an email out going, guys, I can't pay anybody because the site's run for charity, really. Act on This, it all goes to the charities that the guests who I have on nominate. But I was like, the only thing I can offer people is a free membership, a free premium membership, which normally costs you 60 quid a year. I can give you discounts on every product that I create and everything that I do, you know, I can involve you in. That's what I can offer you. Who's up for helping? And I had like 25, 30 emails back from people going, this is what I think I could bring to the table, I would love to do it. I need to choose 5 for now. I think I can get by with just 5 of those people. I'm going through the emails. And then I've already told some people who I've selected already. You know, that they will be the AOT, Act on This All-Stars, who can just help me out in the forums, help me out, you know, with comments on, you know, on the blog posts and the articles, and just spreading the word, help me on social media, because it was just too much for me alone. And then it suffers, you know, it's a shame when I go, actually, I can't commit the time to that anymore. So when we have failure, or we're not necessarily failure, but, you know, loss and rejection and stuff, I remember you emailing me because I kept trying to log in with the wrong username. Shelley, hopefully you're all right now. You know, it's but I just need help, and sometimes we don't like asking for help, particularly guys. I think we are really stubborn as guys. If I go in the supermarket, I don't want to ask where something is, I want to go and find it. Whereas women will just go, excuse me, can you tell me where such and such thing is? They're out in 2 minutes. I'm like, no, I'm a man, I'm going to go and find this spaghetti sauce. So yeah, ask for help. It's positive, you know, it's not a weakness at all in every area of your life. You know, vulnerability is very, very powerful. And that's something that we will muster and gain from, you know, from failure, from rejection, from loss, or, you know, just when we really, really need help. Ask for it. It's a really, really positive thing to do. Number 9, nearly there, guys, we're nearly there. Number 9, you'll go back to the drawing board. This is really important. As the saying goes, why fix it if it ain't broken? Well, some things need fixing, but you know, some things need fixing, but re-evaluating doesn't happen if something doesn't break. So we have to break stuff sometimes in order to go, wait a minute, I need to look at this again. So I wrote an article on the site not long ago about Thomas Edison when it was his birthday, and I said Thomas Edison made 1,007 failed attempts at creating a working light bulb before he cracked it on try 1,008. So with each failure he went back to the drawing board. Said that the other night. He was interviewed by a really brash reporter, and they went, come on Thomas, you've done like 1,000 attempts here, mate, should you not give up? His answer was amazing. He was gobsmacked, and he went, why give up? He says, I now know 1,000 ways a light bulb will not work. You know, so he looks at every single failure as one step closer to success. And I said this on the Scope the other night. Every no you get at audition, if you're an actor, or every no you get at a job interview, whatever job you're going for. If you're in sales, every no you get, if you're selling something, is one step closer to a yes. It's not one step further away from success. It's one step closer. Not always broken, but could be improved. Yeah, and you know, things can be improved. And I say to everyone as well that, you know, you can only improve on something when it's been released or when it's been put out there. So if you're thinking, oh, I want to do this short film, or, you know, I've got this blog I want to write, or whatever it is I want to do and put out there, but I don't want to put it out there till it's perfect, you're lying to yourself. To perfect something, you can only perfect something once it's been released. Literally, the definition of perfection is to improve on something. If that thing hasn't been created or hasn't been released to the public, how can you possibly perfect it? You can't. So I would say, get stuff out there, get it seen. You know, it's really, really important. And if it doesn't work, go back to the drawing board. You know, sometimes we have to do that, but you're always one step closer to success with every failure. Point number 9. Number 10, I think is the most important point of all. And yeah, exactly. So Laura says, so true, no point waiting around. Really, really is. Number 10, you're gonna appreciate your success. Sasha's a terrible perfectionist. Sasha, bin it off. Minimal viable product is all you're ever looking at. MVP, your minimal viable product. So value and meaning become heightened in the face of difficulty, okay? The greatest celebrations come from the toughest battles. You'll realise a dream isn't all rainbows and butterflies, but when the journey includes getting back on your feet and dusting yourself off, you'll be more inclined to stop when you see the roses and express a little more gratitude and appreciation at the finish line. The bitterness of every failure adds sweetness to every victory. So, so true. And gratitude is something that I want to do, you know, I'll do a whole scope on one night, and I've mentioned it a few times, I've touched on it. But really kind of like living your life with gratitude, being grateful for the things that you've got and focusing on what you have now will make those things so much sweeter when you get them. I always say, if you can't enjoy, and I am never saying settle, guys, I'm never saying settle for what you've got now, don't ever do that, always strive for more. What I'm saying that's really important is, if you can't enjoy, at least enjoy what you have now, you will never ever be able to enjoy what you are going to get, okay, regardless of what that is. Okay, so you really need to be appreciative and just grateful for what you've got now. And sometimes when you can't see what you've got now, you just need to look a bit harder, you know, because it is always there. Even in, like we're saying, even in all these negative situations, look at what you can get out of them. Every point that I've made there only arises through failure, rejection, or loss. and every single one of those points that I've raised is really, really positive. You know, it's a really positive message to take from each of those things. So never forget that. So to recap, we'll go really quick from 1 to 10. I'll just read the headlines out if I can ever separate the pages. So number 1, you'll clarify your passions. Okay, dead important. You'll just know what you want. Sometimes we don't, you know, we fail because we've not focused enough, and maybe that's because we don't want it bad enough, and that's fine. Get rid of it. Number 2, you'll uncover new skills. Okay, remember, I'm going to put all these slides on the replay as a PDF download. Number 3, you'll find out who your friends are. It's really important. I've got like 600 friends on Facebook. I've said that before. Probably know about 12 of them. Number 4, you'll check your blind spots. You'd never make a newsreader. I know, Kim, I went for an audition as a newsreader last week. I didn't get it. Surprise, surprise. Number 5, you will burn away pride and arrogance. So that's done. Number 6, you'll grow elephant skin. Not literally, girls. Don't worry about that. You don't need to moisturise anymore, but you'll grow elephant skin, metaphorically speaking. You'll become tougher. You'll become, you know, those punches will become softer when they hit you. You will never wonder what if again. So always say yes to those auditions that you think are going to go straight to video, and then they don't. They end up being massive cinema releases. Gutted about that. Don't live in the past though, Ross. Number 8, you will finally ask for help. Number 9, I need to ask for help, definitely. Number 9, you will go back to the drawing board. And number 10, so important, most important of all, you will appreciate success when you get it. If you go through life, and I know a couple of actors, you know, who have been very, very fortunate that they've got, like, you know, they've kind of got a job at 16 in something big, they've gone to drama school, they've left and they've gone on something big straight away. They've never had to fight for a job, and I'm just waiting until that time comes when they do, and they will kind of, maybe then they'll appreciate just how fortunate they are, you know, in the situation that they're in right now. But remember, you know, enjoy what you've got now, and then whatever you have, you'll always be able to enjoy it. You know, it'll become sweeter and sweeter. So they're my 10 points, guys. Thanks so much for staying on with me. I mean, I don't know how long it's been actually, because we had that whole rigmarole at the beginning where it all went wrong, but I imagine it's probably about half an hour. But thanks for staying on. I know it's Saturday night, but I hope that has helped you, you know, and I hope you can relate that to things in your life. If you're going through a tough time right now, or you've got something going on in your life, don't get caught up in that victim mentality that I talked about. Don't keep replaying the video over and over in your head about how hard done by you are, or how that guy or girl wronged you, or how that, you know, that person deceived you or upset you, or, you know, or went behind your back. Just whatever it is, you know, whatever these, you know, things that are happening to us in life that kind of cause us to go to these really negative places over and over again. Look at what you're getting out of the situation. Don't focus on what it's taking from you, because you get absolutely as much, or if not more, you know, from those situations than they take from you, you know, and you will grow through those situations. You'll become a much stronger, wiser, rounder person. You know, you're just a better person overall. So then the next time you go into a situation like that, you will have learned, and you'll be able to deal with it, and, you know, and the outcome will be different. You will succeed. So if you've enjoyed it, give us some hearts. If you're not following me on Periscope, then you can do that by sliding your screen left to right. And you can follow me. I'm going to be broadcasting every night on Periscope. Tash says thanks for the advice. Love 10 PM every night. Awesome. Nina's giving me some applause. Yeah, every night 10 PM, guys, for at least the next 16 nights. Great session. Cheers, Hitesh. Thanks for showing up, man. You know, I take the topics as well for these from people through the day. If you're an actor and you want to join the Bulletproof Actor group, then get yourself to facebook.com. Cheers, Steve. Get yourself to facebook.com/groups/Bulletproof Actor, and I'll add you to the group. Guys, if you are in the group already, you have permission to add your friends as well. So you'll see when you log in, if you're on your desktop, you'll see on the right hand side, you can invite people to the group as well. Kim says, great session, love 10 PM now. It was a little later than 10 PM, Kim, because it all went wrong. Technology, because I'm an idiot and didn't plug the charger in. But yeah, you can invite people to the group. Do that. You know, it's absolutely fine. Invite people that you like, if you know, and you think are going to enjoy it and are the battery chargers in your life, guys. Let's not have any battery drainers in the group. Let's have battery chargers. Who those people who, when you're with, charge you up, you feel, you know, inspired by. Although, you know, sometimes invite some of them drainers as well. Let's turn them into chargers. Let's inspire them to be better in what they do as well. But we have very you for it. I think I kind of know what you mean, Kim. Yeah. Cheers. Love that, says Sasha. Yeah, it's so true. Those 5 people I was talking about in your life, you know, try and make them all battery chargers. You know, I love those people who you spend 10 minutes with having a coffee and you just feel charged and you come away from it going, yes, you know, come on, let's go. That's what we've got to try and be for everybody in our lives. And you can't be that person if you're surrounded by battery chargers, because you're not being battery drainers, sorry, because you've got no charge yourself then. You know, as you're giving, you need to fill the well up for what you're giving out, you know, and if you're giving it all away and you're not getting anything back, then you've got nothing to give, so it doesn't work. So thanks so much for watching. I don't know what we're talking about tomorrow, but get on the Facebook group and suggest some topics, and I'll have a look at it tomorrow, and we will get on. Give me a little what you're doing tomorrow, how people are spending their Sundays, what positive, productive things are you going to be doing tomorrow that these scopes are helping you with? Anything that's come up in these scopes so far over the last 2 weeks that you have been able to utilise in your life, or maybe some goals that you set for yourself, or a new mindset on a particular area of your life, let me know. It's always amazing to get some feedback, so that I know that you guys are you know, really benefiting and putting them into your life. Working at the shop, says Kim. Well, hopefully, Kim, you can rise above any negative people in your shop tomorrow. Remember that it's not you, it's them. They're the ones with the issue. Roll with the punches. You know, and don't let that affect your mindset. Filming showreel scenes, awesome, cheeky peeky, wicked. That's amazing. Good luck with that then. PT session at 9. Wow, Nina, that's early on a Sunday. Writing to agents, Laura. New clients, Steve Scott. Quiet Sunday for Sasha. I run a half marathon every Sunday. It's something that I committed to about a year ago and do it religiously now. And that if I don't do it, that's a habit. We talked about habits last night. Coming up north tomorrow, says Shelley. That's a habit for me that I need in my life. When I don't do it, I really miss it. Feel more positive about it because I know it's only temporary and will be a successful actress. Yeah, absolutely. No, honestly, you know, your past does not equal your future. What you're doing now is not what you're going to be doing in the future. Cutting down on drinking, says Tracy. Absolutely. I need to cut down on drinking coffee. I bought some new coffee today I'm trying out tonight. I always drink coffee this time of night. It's really bad, that, isn't it? But that's probably a negative habit that I need to maybe kick and start having some green tea or something a little more boring. But good luck with everything that you're doing, guys. It's amazing that these are helping you. I'm really kind of like humbled by that, and it's amazing that you know, this is having an impact in your life. It's exactly what I set out to do, so thank you. I will see you tomorrow night then, or I'll see you on the Facebook page through the day. If you're watching the replay, appreciate you. Thank you so much for watching the replay as well. Try Italian roast coffee. Starbucks, Hitesh, I don't know what it is. It's some special Starbucks blend that I'm trying out, a limited edition one. Don't know if it's any good really, but I'll give it a go. But yeah, thanks everybody. Really appreciate you all, and I will speak to you tomorrow night, same time, same place. Hopefully without my phone dying, because it's going to be plugged in. 10 PM, guys. Until then, bye for now.